Mademoiselle?
Yes?
Quel est votre nom?
Elizabeth.
Pour vous, Elisabeth.
Oh, no. No, I couldn't. I can't accept...
Je vous en prie. J'insiste.
Oh, thank you.
Viens jouer avec nous, Elisabeth.
I'm sorry, Cassette. Next time, I promise.
Oh, dommage.
What's up boys, Berks here. I know it has been a year since my last upload. I've been busy collecting my dad lore. From now on, videos will be shorter so that I can actually upload frequently. I was working on a Morrowind review, The Elder Scrolls, but that game is so long I didn't know what to do with it, to be honest. But let's not waste any time and let's get into the review. If you want to play the game, this review will contain spoilers. So that's that. BioShock Infinite is the third title in the series and to this date, the last one. It came out in 2013 and was developed by 2K Games, a time before 2K made shitty NBA games.
What the fuck is going on with Wembanyama?
The rebound by the Spurs.
What the fuck?
Even though it's more than 10 years old now, I can't talk enough about how aesthetically pleasing this game looks. I think the game shows how unimportant high resolutions are and demonstrates how relevant art style is to a game. But what is the game about? BioShock Infinite is a game about racism. False prophets, drug and alcohol abuse, poverty, and anarchy. But actually, BioShock Infinite is a game about the game is about all the things I said. All the things you said, all the things you said. But actually it is more about remorse, regret, hatred, time traveling and multiverses. Yeah. This game confused me so much I had to read the whole BioShock wiki and read an actual book. I would consider myself a knowledgeable master of this verse, but there are always new things I discover. Doing a serious review about this game would take at least a 5-hour review. No joke. But we do things differently here. I'm going to have a semi-serious approach on this review, just because this game is like a top 10 game of all time for me. The gameplay does not really have much difference to the previous entries. It is a first-person shooter with a touch of action-adventure and survival horror, I would say. The number of times I shat my pants because of a jump scare are at least a handful. Oh my god! There are multiple weapons, some are so trash I could never recommend using them. Honestly, I only played the carbine, the handgun and the sniper because they were the only reliable weapons. Fuck you, repeater. Fuck you. Besides guns, there are vigors, which give you various powers, such as fire, electricity, befriending enemies, dash, Itachi from Naruto, return to sender, levitation, and whatever this is. In my opinion, the best ones here are the crows and this beautiful Trojan warrior. I love you so much. To use these vigors, you need to consume salts, which you can pick up or buy at vending machines. Entirely new and different from the other games are these skyline hooks. And even though I had motion sickness sometimes, let me tell you what, this shit is so cool. I mean, look at this. This shit is epic. You can perform an execution move, but personally I have never really seen the use for it, because it just puts you in a bad position for enemies to attack you. Oh yeah, I played on hard mode, cause I'm a real gamer by the way. I'm 6'4" with a warrior cut and V-taper by the way. While exploring, you can pick up money lying around or from enemies you have downed, but you got to be careful with the money you pick up because ammo and swords are sometimes rare, depending on the difficulty you play, and the only way besides picking ammo and swords up from places and bodies is from buying at vending machines. Vending machines also provide you with gun and vigor upgrades, as well as health. Randomly while walking around you can find infusions, which give you upgrades to either health, shield, or an amount of swords you can consume. Also, there is gear you can pick up and wear, but personally I found those rather unnecessary because they don't provide you with essential upgrades. You can easily just wear nothing at all and be good to go. Overall, the gameplay switches from fast-paced action to slow-paced horror-esque shooter. Personally, I really enjoy this and I can't remember another game, besides the games before Infinite, that do stuff like this. But you may correct me if I'm wrong with that. Now we get into the fun part. Let me try to do this chronologically. You are playing as Booker the Wit, a private investigator who is set on a mission to retrieve a girl from someone. Booker is a rather pessimistic person and not really the friendly type. He seems to be addicted to booze and does not give off to be a happy person overall. It seems like he has done something terrible in the past he was not able to handle or get over with. All over the place you get the same message indoctrinated: bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. As always in BioShock, we find ourselves arriving at a lighthouse. We are accompanied by a man and a woman, the Lutece twins, constantly talking to each other. We arrive in Colombia, a city built up in the sky, just casually floating around. It's a massive flipping weapon of war. They seem to be Christians, but there are some crucial differences. First, their holy figures are former presidents such as George Washington, who holds a sword, the sign of power, Benjamin Franklin, who holds the key, the sign of industrial power, and Thomas Jefferson, who holds the scroll, the sign of law and order. The main villain is Colombia's prophet and founder, Zachary Hale Comstock. As soon as we land in Colombia, you get the feeling that you are already expected. They are looking for someone called the False Shepherd, something like an antichrist who is trying to steal the lamb, aka Comstock's daughter, aka Elizabeth, aka the girl we are trying to retrieve. The false shepherd has AD tattooed on his right hand. Oh, Booker is the false shepherd. Fast forward, we managed to rescue Elizabeth from her tower, in which she had to stay in since she was born. Songbird is some kind of entity that protects her at all costs and will try to get her back to Comstock no matter what. We discover that Elizabeth has some kind of power related to time and space, but more about that later. She also misses the tip of her pinky finger, but also more about that later. Where do I go from here? Honestly, most of the things happening in Colombia are kinda relevant to the overall story. The events happening are more of a way to advance until the plot peaks, but that peak makes everything that has happened kinda irrelevant. The most important information can be found in these voxophones and in these tourist information movies. I will say though, it is really beautiful to see the dynamic between Elizabeth and Booker progress throughout the game. First, Booker is distant and cold towards Elizabeth, while Elizabeth is curious and open. Although she seems to be really intelligent, she gives off this naive teen vibe. Elizabeth's dream is to go to Paris, and Booker promises her to go there as soon as they escape from Colombia. But guess what? Booker is only interested in bringing the girl back to repay the debt. What debt, you ask? Well, Booker was a gambler and lost a lot of money, so he was given the task to escort Elizabeth out of Colombia to repay the debt. Throughout the story, Booker gets confronted with his past. He was a soldier and part of the Boxers Rebellion and Operation Wounded Knee, both massacres where a lot of innocent indigenous and Chinese people were murdered. You can tell he has regrets, and he was not able to process everything he experienced. He was offered to be baptized and begin a new life without sins, but Booker rejected the offer. Elizabeth finds out that Booker was not planning on bringing her to Paris. She knocks him out and tries to run away. They come together again and both admit to their faults, blah blah blah, the usual thingy. Booker starts to warm up with Elizabeth and it seems like he forgets what he came here for. Elizabeth in the meantime killed for the first time. to make her somewhat snap or kinda like understand that this is reality. He becomes somewhat protective towards Elizabeth and starts to care for her. Later on, Elizabeth gets kidnapped by Songbird and we need to retrieve her. Alright, now let's get to Elizabeth's powers. She has these warp gates, which seem to open up different realities or timelines. It also seems like she can open warps into the future. I think you can see where this is going. We find out that the Booker we played the whole time died to Songbird. It took like 120 Bookers from different timelines to actually get where we are now, to meet this old version of Elizabeth. She is the version of Elizabeth in which Comstock managed to fully manipulate and retrieve her from Booker. She gives us a message to give Elizabeth, the alternative Elizabeth, to not become like her. Songbird seems to have a mechanism that lets you control him, and that is the key for us to escape and beat Comstock. At this point, Booker and Elizabeth are a legitimate team, protecting each other no matter what. Fast forward, we manage to beat Comstock, drowning him in a puddle of water. The last thing is to destroy the tower in which Elizabeth had lived her entire life. The tower suppressed Elizabeth's whole power, and after destroying it, she gets mastered Ultra Instinct. I mean her full power. Well, at this point the game is a whole movie. I would like to just show you the entire cutscene, but then the video would probably be 3 hours long. So let me have a shot to describe everything to you. You got to lock in now, bro. Stay with me. Okay, so Elizabeth and Booker find out that there are multiple timelines of everything. Every timeline begins with a man, a lighthouse, and a city. We find out that Booker had a child himself. That child's name was Anna DeWitt. You remember AD Anna DeWitt? Booker was looking for his daughter. That daughter is Elizabeth. Elizabeth is Booker's real daughter, Anna. But it goes even deeper. Comstock is Booker himself. Comstock is the version of Booker that decided to be baptized and start a new life. Actually, Comstock is the original version of Booker. Comstock decided to be baptized and got really deep into Christianity and decided to go down that path until he built Columbia with the help of the Lutece twins. The male Lutece is an alternative version of the female Lutece. That Comstock used the warp gates, which were discovered by the Luteces, to build Columbia. Comstock was also talking to people from Rapture, the city of BioShock 1 and 2, to exchange discoveries and technical development. That's also how Columbia got their Vigors, which were called plasmids in Rapture. So, how is Elizabeth Booker's child, even though Comstock is an alternative version of Booker? Comstock got impotent because of the excess use of warp gates, which means he himself couldn't get a child. So he took the child of an alternative version of him, because technically that would be his child. So now comes the pinky finger, if you remember. Booker pretty much sold Anna / Elizabeth to repay his gambling debt. He immediately regrets the decision and wants Anna back. Here, Booker and Comstock pull on Anna, but Comstock eventually gets Anna on the other side of the warp gate. But, big but, Anna's pinky finger stays on Booker's side. So, technically, Anna exists in both timelines. This is why Anna later gets modified and is able to control the warp gates, because technically she is in both timelines. She's like a female Eren Yeager. She can see everything and she knows every possible outcome. Booker realizes that the Lutece twins took him from his timeline and made him think that he is looking for a random girl to repay his gambling debt. The Lutece twins did that because they wanted to stop Comstock's madness. Booker realizes that he is Comstock himself. This version of Booker gets drowned, which is why some of the other Elizabeths disappear. The one remaining can be seen as Elizabeth's compressed form, something like the original Elizabeth. That's it. That's BioShock. But there is a DLC, Burial at Sea. The DLC is set directly before the events of BioShock 1, so if you haven't played the first game, I would not suggest watching this video any further. Elizabeth goes to Rapture and finds a version of Comstock that failed to build Columbia and got put into an alternative timeline by the Lutesses. He lost his memories of the past and works as a private investigator in Rapture. He is looking for a little girl he took care of, but she went missing. This version of Comstock dies to a Big Daddy, which ends Booker and Comstock in all timelines. End of part 1. Now, in part 2, Elizabeth, due to this version of Comstock dying, is now powerless, because she is now Anna DeWitt without powers in a world where Comstock never existed. Yeah, I know, it's really difficult. These are all interpretations from me, by the way. You can ask everyone who played this game and they might interpret differently to me. Elizabeth wants to save the little girl and she has to do tasks for Atlas, the main villain of BioShock 1. She needs to receive the hidden message to control Jack, the protagonist of BioShock 1. You know, would you kindly? She does all of that and Atlas kills her. She sees a last flash of the future where Jack rescues the little sisters. Alright, that's it really now. Little side note, there have been leaks going around recently about a new upcoming BioShock title. In my opinion, another title was not really necessary, because I think that BioShock Infinite rounds up the story quite well. Like, I don't know what there is to add. It looks like it is not going to be in Rapture or in Columbia, so we might get another alternative version of the story. It may also be just a sequel to BioShock 2. Overall, I give BioShock Infinite 10 unnecessarily drunk beers out of 10. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.
Elle m'attend dans ses bras. Elle me parle à tout bas. Je vois la vie amoureuse. Il m'a dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours. Et ça me fait quelque chose.